Singapore is one of the wealthiest, most densely populated countries in the world. Known for its cutting-edge technology, high standards of living, and incredible urban planning, Singapore also faces a unique housing crisis. But what sets Singapore apart from other countries experiencing housing challenges? In this video, we'll explore why Singapore's housing crisis is unlike any other, how the government manages it, and why this small island nation's solution is both extraordinary and complicated. To understand why Singapore's housing crisis is different, we need to take a step back in time. In 1950s, Singapore was struggling with overcrowded slums and poor living conditions. The country was newly independent, with an influx of immigrants, rapid urbanization, and a lack of affordable housing. The government faced an immediate challenge. How could it provide homes for its growing population while simultaneously building a modern city? Enter the Housing Development Board, or HDB, established in 1960 to build affordable, high-quality public housing for Singaporeans. HDB flats quickly became the foundation of Singapore's housing policy, providing homes for the nation's residents and helping to transform the country from a chaotic post-colonial state into a thriving urban powerhouse. At the heart of Singapore's housing solution is the HDB system. Over the past 6 decades, HDB has built over 1 million units of public housing, housing more than 80% of Singapore's population. But there is something unique about this system. Unlike most public housing programs around the world, HDB flats are not just rented, they are sold to citizens, often with substantial government subsidies. HDB flats are not only affordable, but also come with a range of features that make them attractive to families. They're often located near public transport, schools, and parks. But what really sets the HDB apart is how the system works. Flats are sold on a 99-year leases, and while you technically own the flat, the land remains owned by the government. The demand for these flats is immense. Every year, thousands of Singaporeans apply for new HDB flats, and the waiting time can extend for several years. The government controls the supply of land, and this tightly regulated system ensures that housing prices don't spiral out of control. But this balance comes with its own set of problems. Singapore's housing crisis is compounded by its own population. With a population of more than 5.5 million and limited land available, Singapore is one of the most densely populated countries in the world. The constant influx of immigrants, along with a natural population growth, puts immense pressure on the housing market. While the government has focused on building high-rise apartments to maximize space, the rapid population growth still presents a challenge. The competition for limited land has created a situation where only a few can access affordable, well-located housing. And with housing prices rising, many Singaporeans are finding it difficult to afford homes, despite government subsidies. To combat this, Singapore has embarked on ambitious land reclamation projects, building new islands and increasing the amount of usable land. Yet, the pressure remains, because no matter how much land is developed, there is always more demand for it than supply. Despite the government's best efforts, Singapore's housing prices have skyrocketed. The cost of private property, including condominiums and land homes, has increased exponentially over the past decade. In fact, Singapore has one of the most expensive housing markets in the world. For the middle class, the dream of owning a home is becoming increasingly difficult. Although the government provides subsidies for first-time home buyers, many middle-income families still find themselves priced out of private property market. As a result, many are forced to settle for smaller flats or even remain in their parents' homes longer than they would like. So, how does the government try to alleviate the crisis? Singapore's government provides a variety of policies to ensure home ownership remains accessible, especially for first-time buyers. These include CPF, or Central Provident Fund, housing grants, housing vouchers, and subsidies based on income levels and family size. One of the most unique aspects of Singapore's housing policy is the CPF, a mandatory savings plan for all Singaporeans. A portion of workers' salaries is automatically deposited into their CPF accounts, which can be used to finance HDB flats. The government also offers various grants that reduce the upfront cost of buying a flat. But while these policies are well-intentioned, they have also contributed to rising prices. Because of the heavy reliance on CPF for housing purchases, the value of HDB flats has increased, especially as people use their CPF savings to finance larger flats. This creates a cycle of rising property values, making it even harder for lower-income citizens to enter the market. Singapore's private housing market adds another layer of complexity to this crisis. With limited land available for development, high-end luxury condos and exclusive properties are often sold for millions of dollars. And while the government has imposed cooling measures such as stamp duties and restrictions on foreign ownership, speculation in the property market continues to drive prices up. Many investors, both local and foreign, view Singapore's real estate market as a safe haven, pushing up the prices of high-end properties. This has led to a growing divide between the haves and have-nots. While the wealthy can afford to buy multiple properties, many Singaporeans find themselves squeezed out of the market entirely. The housing crisis has far-reaching social implications. Singapore's strong focus on home ownership has led to a culture where owning a flat is seen as essential to one's social standing and financial security. But with housing becomes increasingly out of reach, this aspiration is slipping away for many. Young families are especially affected, with many finding it difficult to purchase their own homes and are forced to live with their parents for extended periods. This creates a sense of social strain and affects the quality of life, particularly for those who have outgrown the spaces they share with their families. So what's next for Singapore? How would the government address the ongoing housing crisis in the coming decades? The answer lies in continued innovation. Singapore is constantly exploring ways to make housing more affordable and sustainable. This includes increasing the availability of smart, environmentally friendly homes, enhancing the public housing system, and building more mixed-use communities. The government will likely continue to focus on maintaining a balance between supply and demand, ensuring that housing remains accessible to all Singaporeans. Singapore's housing crisis is unique. Why? Because it's shaped by the country's rapid urbanization, its land scarcity, and its ambitious policies. While the government has made great strides in providing homes for its citizens, the challenges remain. Rising prices, land shortages, and increasing demand will continue to test Singapore's housing policies in the years to come. Let us know what you think in the comment section.